was told that we. I was
Lawful
basically
money.
told that if you're
And
no,
arbitration.
if you're using
and non-disclosure. Hold on.
hold on,
Lawful
hold on.
money. Hold on. I'm giving the title to the class. Lawful money, arbitration, non-disclosure, and terms and conditions for your website. All right, that's good. Along with privacy policy.
Okay,
That's
so
today's
if you
topic.
read 12, so if you read
12
12
USC
USC section 411, yeah.
And can we pull it up to
It states-
Cornell, please?
Was it 4?
That's right, like,
Yeah, 411.
Yep, it says that if you're using Fed notes, they are only authorized to be used by agents of the Federal Reserve. If you're you're not authorized to use them at all. And guess what? People are doing that all the time. They're not endorsing it as demand for lawful money.
Federal
They're
Reserve
using
notes to be issued
Yeah.
at the
Yep.
discretion of the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System for the purpose of making advances to Federal Reserve banks through the Federal Reserve agents as hereinafter
Yep.
set forth, and for no other purpose are authorized. The said
Okay,
notes.
stop there.
Mhm.
Yeah, see, it says right there, you're not authorized to use Fed notes if you're not an agent. They're only to be
Issued
used by the
At the
agent
discretion. Issued
through the
at the
federal.
discretion
Yeah. hmm
for the purpose of making advances to Federal Reserve banks through the Federal
Yeah,
Reserve
through
agents.
Agents, exactly.
Right. And then
And
what
for
does it
no
say in
other
the second
purpose.
part? And for no other purpose. Then it says the said notes shall be obligations of the United States and shall be receivable by all national and member banks and Federal Reserve banks, and for all taxes, customs, and for and for other public dues. They shall be redeemable in lawful money on demand at the Treasury Department of the United States. And then they give you where it's at. Okay, so for lawful money. Now let's kill that. The silver and gold standard, right, has been knocked off.
Okay.
Then we went to the petrodollar, correct or incorrect? That was the new asset.
Oh.
That was the petrodollar.
Yeah.
We didn't have enough gold, so they used petrodollar and full faith and credit. It's been redefined. So they're issuing on the full faith and credit of the United States, whether it's our military might, okay, our ability to protect other nations like NATO, because we won World War II with decisive victory through nuclear holocaust. Huh? Okay? Through us giving nations protection, through our ability to create, because as you know, if you didn't know, the United States controls culture. Anybody disagree with that? Good. So our sphere of influence, as well as being part of the reserve currency of the earth. The earth, plus our military might. And because we control most of the buying of oil, we buy OPEC's oil. Most of it. Anybody disagree with that? Who here disagrees with that? That there is a petrodollar.
I think the petrodollar actually ended. It went to the
When did
one
it
now.
end?
I think it ended this year.
Okay, Trooper, can you look up when did the petrodollar end? If it did end this year, very well.
I don't believe it has. There's countries trying to get away from it because that's the stronghold.
Getting away from it. Wait, getting away from it and being away from it, two different things. Trying to get away from it and being away from are two different things. So let's see if it ended. Good. Okay, so the end, hold on. Is this the end of a petrodollar? Sounds like what?
Question.
Hold on. A question. Good. Has been in place for 50 years. In case you're wondering, petrodollars are not a real currency. They're simply dollars being used to trade oil. Good. Kill screen.
And for a
Okay,
good
good.
bit,
So, well, hold on.
I'm sorry.
Listen. Petrodollar. Okay, it's not real currency, but it's the dollars are used to purchase the currency, right? So it's influence. So if all oil is supposed to be bought in dollars because we have the world back reserve current, I mean the world's reserve currency or the world back reserve currency, then the influence, we control culture. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. That's what I was gonna say, and you said it in another way. That's how it was explained to me. That all oil is traded in US dollar.
Thank you. So here's my deal. So when
Not
the
Russian oil.
entirety, hold up, when the entirety of oil is being purchased in US dollars. Okay, yeah, we got BRICS.
Wait, what do you, hold on, what do you mean by US dollars though? What do you exactly mean by that?
Petrodollars, oil
You
from the
mean Fed
Middle
notes,
East
right?
is bought right in Federal Reserve notes, the dollar. That's why it's called the
Exactly,
petrodollar. Right.
So that's
Okay,
private,
so-
that's private currency though, right? Not petrodollars, private
But
currency,
the
not public
world's
lawful money.
Just for all
but
that, public and private.
the world's dependency on being able to buy oil with that currency specifically creates us still having dominance in culture.
I understand, but you have the
That's right.
remedy, the remedies in 12 U.S.C. 411. It says you can demand it lawful money. Those notes can be redeemed in lawful money.
Okay,
That
so
means
stop.
there's an opt-out.
Yeah, but banks that allow you to do that.
Hold on, guys. Hold on. I'm painting.
The banks are
So
agents.
you have to think those dollars that are supposed to be buying the oil on Earth, right? And things like that, right? Is controlled by a system that's independent of the oil itself. They just accept that currency from another system. The United States, within its system, has determining factors that give that dollar worth. That's what 12 U.S.C. 411 comes in. And what I'm telling you is that once it bit into the petrodollar, all that silver and gold shit and lawful money went to shit because that dominance created a need for the existence of the currency outside of it being backed by other assets.
That makes sense.
So what
Raymond,
exactly are you
because when
saying?
read a bill, what it says is this note is legal tender. It's not backed by silver and gold anymore. That makes 100% right what you're saying right there.
So that created a shift. And all 12 USC, 411 is saying is that the governor's board has the right to issue it to all of its lower member banks. That means get it in circulation, and then they can use it for taxes and for everything and for other public issues or private or whatever. That's all it's saying, that it will come from the governor's board. That's it. That's all it's saying. It's codifying it into law. There is no, let us get gold or silver. If that is the case,
I'm not
purchase
saying, I'm not
gold.
saying,
Hold on, listen, hold on. Let me finish the idea. There is no, let us get gold or silver outside of purchasing gold or silver at its fair market value with that same currency. Hold on. But redeemable lawful money, what is the lawful money?
anything that's
Let's
public,
address that.
public lawful money, it's can be silver, gold, or even the United States currency notes defined in 31 U.S.C. section 5115.
Right, and now
There's
you tell
over
me where
300
they're
million in
issuing it.
circulation.
You tell me where they're issuing it at this current time since the petrodollar.
Well, the feds are issuing it, right?
Saying, you tell me where you could take Federal Reserve notes to the Treasury and they're going to give you some sort of gold or something.
They're not. This is not what I'm saying.
That's
What
my
I'm saying
point.
is this. Yeah, what I'm saying is you. So what I was saying is you file with the IRS every single year that you redeemed it in lawful money when it goes into the bank account. And then the IRS does not tax you on that because they treat it as lawful money.
Do you know what I think lawful
I'm not
money
saying-
means? Money that
What
is
is it?
full of law. I mean, does that open like the third eye?
Well, I mean,
Money that
Fed
is
notes
full of
can be
law.
lawful. Yes, Fed notes can be lawful money too, but they're private. Now you're taking the private.
Lawful money doesn't
and
sound like gold backed.
Yes, but what I'm saying is it's a public form of currency. It's not a private where you can tax it. So the private is taxable. The public is not taxable. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, we're getting into some. Let's first address the money. Okay, because anybody here that read Modern Money Mechanics or has read The Creature from Jekyll Island will be able to tell you when the shift happened. Right? So there's no fucking way you're gonna go to any Federal Reserve anything and they're gonna start issuing you in gold.
You're not.
Issuing the gold. Right. So it doesn't have the effect of law at this person. At this point, to ask for the gold. Lawful just means, is it a legislative bond of some sort? Did the law or
Raymond,
the legislature put the obligation on the ledger to create the flow of currency? That's why we keep raising the debt ceiling. Does that make sense?
Yes. The only thing that I'm saying is that you're reporting to the IRS that you're making the demand, and they honor that. And I've seen evidence that the IRS refunded everything, and the guy had state and federal taxes being refunded for the past year. So he had the employer.
Okay, I'm not going to call you a liar at all at it either, because
I can back that up. I can back that up. Like before the website was taken down on Instagram, tons of people were posting their checks and stuff. Why would they issue that if it wasn't lawful?
Look, lawful money refers to the currency that is recognized as legal tender by the government. This can include physical currencies such as banknotes and coins, as well as digital forms of payment such as credit cards and online transactions. That is a basic definition. If they have gotten some form of relief, I'm not here to tell you that it doesn't exist. If you can attest to it that it happened, very well, because I'm not going to battle what I didn't see. Amazing. But if you ask me to define it, are we satisfied with my definition and what 12 U.S.C. 411 means? Or are we not satisfied with the fact? Okay, so now I define it.
Yes, can I finally show you something just on $100 bill? Have you ever seen the green stamp and the Fed stamp and the U.S. Treasury stamp? The
Okay,
two sides where the bell. Well, did you see where the blue bells, divide the dollar in half? The line of the,
No,
the Liberty Bell.
I haven't studied it that close. I haven't.
Well, if you look at the left side, there's the Fed stamp, and if you look at the right side, you're gonna see there's always a gold number on the bottom right side of the bill, and you're gonna see that from the $10 all the way to the $100 bills. And what I'm saying is that the right side it represents the lawful money side, and the left side represents the private Federal Reserve Bank side. So if you're just endorsing the checks when you put them in the bank, you're basically endorsing the Fed notes, and that's why you're taxed. But on the right side is you're endorsing the public lawful money side, where it's not taxable. It's for the public to use freely. That's
Okay.
all I'm saying. I'm not saying you're getting gold and all this BS, you know?
Where do we read?
No, very well. And you know what? Very well. And I appreciate you raising the situation. And to be honest with you, I'm gonna say this right now. I like the fact that you raised this issue today. As much as I'm cutting you just to get to the meat of it, awesome. Awesome for raising it. Because at least we got to define it. And I normally don't even listen to any of the but I thought this was worth it. And it was worth it. So we got it on recording, at least the definition of 12 U.S.C. 411, all of the obligations and things like that, because that's the whole reason why I use the law in contracts that are enforceable by the law is because it allows for lawful money to be created out of the obligation. Does that make sense?
Hey, Raymond, where do we read? Where do we read?
Hold on, does that make sense? Does that mechanic make sense?
Yes.
What I just stated. It does, right? So by creating the contracts that are enforceable by laws, we kind of use the courts as clearinghouses to get that compensation in Federal Reserve notes. Does that make sense?
Okay. There's 19 people, man. Everybody's quiet. That doesn't make sense then, huh?
No, man, I'm actually wondering where to read what he was saying, because if somebody's saying something that way, and that's what this bill is at, and this is what they're saying it is, and you should be able to read it. And that's the thing, like these Telegram groups and all these people talking this Alice in Wonderland bullshit. You can't even look it up and read it.
This
But
guy had
right
an
now, at
account
least
on.
we were able, hold on, at least right now, for the most part, besides their testimony, I didn't verify the testimony, but I'm not going to sit here and argue it either.
Okay.
We were actually able to look at the law, the definitions, to put into perspective of what our level of expectancy should be. And most of the times, I just use their obligations as codified in law to create their legal obligation of paying me. And that creates my lawful money behind the contract. Does that make sense?
Yeah, man.
Cool. So now let's move on. Arbitration non-disclosure agreement. Thank you for that, Clearinghouse. Thank you. That's awesome that you did that. Good intuition. Yeah, man, that fucking court is an amazing clearinghouse all the time. So, arbitration non-disclosure agreement. Let's Google it.
That's which we already have in the cease and desist letter, right?
Yeah. So look. Well, I don't know. I mean, do we want to see that? Arbitration clause.
You can read it up.
No. Okay, let's look at that second one. Let's look at it. It's going to give us an actual one, but let's just try to look at it. The first one. Okay, so arbitration clauses mandate that the parties to the contract settle their disputes in arbitration instead of a court of law. These types of provisions force consumers to waive their right to a jury trial. Okay, while the court proceedings are a matter of public record, arbitration is held outside of the court process. Okay. All right, let's kill screen. It's just because it's starting to irritate me because I'm not moving as fast as I need to. Here's the deal. In every arbitration clause that you get with your cease and desist, you will have confidentiality of the preceding clauses, which means that no member of the proceedings or of that agreement can speak publicly about what's being arbitrated. Does that make sense?
It does.
Do you guys know why I put that in there?
Just say that again. There was static when you said it. Someone scratching a mic or something.
Jesus. Do we know why I put that into the agreements? That parties cannot speak about the proceedings.
We don't. I don't.
Contract.
Why is that? Why is that? Save embarrassment. Okay, for them, yeah.
To save embarrassment. That's right. Okay, just shy. Can you read that real quick, or are you driving? Probably driving. Huh? An arbitration non-disclosure agreement is a legal agreement that prohibits the parties involved in an arbitration from disclosing information about the arbitration proceedings. This can include information about the dispute, the evidence presented, and the outcome. The way that I constantly win is by not sending over the internet each and every step of the way, because I don't want to have a data trail. because they're confidential and it comes into clauses. And I would literally lose my ability to sue. What if you want embarrassment? Sade, your ego, with big love, your ego does not supersede
Kill you.
their ability to not give a fuck. If you embarrass them, then you're making a public spectacle, and it makes it harder to resolve.
What if you
Are
have
you
some
talk-
egomaniac attorney on the other side that thinks he can take you into court and bust you out of arbitration and it gets hairy?
That all matters involving the contract, right, are to be handled in arbitration. And so therefore you are going to do a motion to compel the arbitration for improper jurisdiction. 9 United States Code Section 3, if you're on the defensory. 9 United States Code Section 4, if you're compelling the arbitration, because the fucker just won't get in there. Let's look up 9 USC Section 3.
Won't they oppose that motion?
They will not. Not if the matter is material to the contract.
Okay.
They won't.
Because you know what I mean? Some attorneys, they think they can do
And
anything.
a
and
lot
go
of
to
them
court.
end up finding their asses in arbitration, thinking that they could weasel their way out. Because sometimes
Right.
attorneys are like sharks and they smell blood in water. And if they think that you're incapable of enforcing the contract, then what they do is they test your mantle by bringing it to a civil proceeding. And you have to be smart enough to say, whoa, this is an improper venue. Move this shit to arbitration. Now, once you do that action, you kick their asses. And now you show them who's tough. State proceedings. Okay, let's hit that. From Cornell University. So, there we go. I let him in. All right, so state proceedings where issue therein referable to arbitration in any suit or proceeding, be it brought in any of the courts of the United States upon any issue referable to arbitration under an agreement in writing for such arbitration, the court in which such suit is pending upon being satisfied that the issue involved in such suit or proceeding is referable to arbitration under such an agreement shall on application of one of the parties stay the trial of the action until such arbitration has been had in accordance with the terms of the agreement, providing the applicant for the stay is not in default in proceeding with such arbitration. Kill screen. So let me show you what Raymond looks like when you have a judge like, what was it, DK said? An attorney. Here's the attorney. Now, just so you know, the balls haven't dropped yet, but this is a guy, and his voice will sound very light. What? Hey, motherfucker, I'm gonna take you to court. I'm gonna open up this civil suit. Now, here's Raymond on the other hand, on the other side. We'll go on ahead. So I can send your ass back into that can of arbitration. We got an agreement, fuckface. Do it now. Now, here's what happens. So he goes in and he goes with his little fucking look with his file cabinet in the paper. Hey, you're the Kings. Yeah, we're gonna see if that guy with the hat on, with the Yankee hat, and his little married to the game ring can really do law. Right? Yeah, and then this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna walk in there smelling like alcohol. Alhamdulillah. Boom. It's coming from a Christian. And I'm gonna move the court to stay the proceeding because the contents of what he's pleading about is located in a valid arbitration agreement. I'm gonna do a motion under seal to review the evidence with the in-camera review. And then they're gonna look at it and they're gonna say, oh, this bitch made more than $4. Yeah, he tried to touch the mantle. And I'm like, yeah, I made a contract. Your soul is with the devil now. Undertake him. And then we're gonna go in to arbitration because of 9 United States Code in the defensory, right? So I'm the defendant in that suit. And he's gonna have his happy ass into arbitration. And so now when we're in arbitration, he violated the contract by raising it, the material, and there was a non-disclosure agreement, which allows for treble damages. So all he did
And the
was
contract
irritate
says,
me. Hold on, all he did was irritate me, do wasteful litigation, and then irritate his pockets with an infection of ×3. Does that make sense?
Yep. And the contract says they can't sue you if they wanted to,
Not
right?
not when the matter is regarding the terms of the arbitration agreement. So if it's anything material to the terms and conditions of that contract, that attorney is in violation. Now, didn't it say at the end, providing that you're not in default of pursuing the arbitration? Did it not say that at the end of the statute? Or do we have to look at it again?
No, it said that.
Okay, very
So as
well. So
long as
guess
you're
what
not in
happens? So
default.
you can, hold on, DK. So any hesitation will get you killed. Your reflex action is to say, we have a contract on this, day one. If you fail to do that day one, guess what you just did? You just contaminated your agreement and waived your rights and waived your protections of that jurisdiction, which means that you consented to the suit. Don't go past day one, destroy him. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so that also means the procedure of timing of each thing you have to do, the cease and desist, to file the arbitration, to the other motions have to be done timely, right?
That's right.
Okay.
But once you have the contract, you do not have to initiate the arbitration for 1 year. But any default to carry out the contract by a party who expected you, they have to wait 6 years before you're actually in default. I said that. So here's the deal. Bring it within the year. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, but you want to do it
Yeah, my
sooner
brother
than a
called
year,
me. I
like you
gotta
said
punch off
earlier,
once my
right?
key. Hold on.
Tupo, if you fail to do what specifically day one?
State that you have a contract, he said.
Okay, okay.
I'm not
And
That's
too
the,
what-
sure.
what
that's
does-
the trustee though, right? The trustee
Hold on.
saying
So
that.
here's the deal. Hold on. Here's the
Yeah.
deal. The number one asset of your trust is your trustee's ability to carry out their job and their mission. That includes not running around the internet saying, here's the paperwork, guys, because yeah. Because let me give you an example of something. This is just an example. This doesn't pertain to anybody. Be advised. I said it. There you go. Imagine somebody here had a cocaine Fed case. RICO case. The feds is listening. And imagine that they're watching text messages of you about to sue them and you're speaking about it. Those communications can contaminate your agreement. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Good. So with that being said, sometimes silence is key, but we're not really silent. We're active. You understand that? We're doing a gator roll. A gator roll. A gator roll.
Yeah, but you don't really, you said in a prior class that you don't really want to take a year to do the arbitration. You want to,
Never.
you said you want to do like 4 to 6 months, right? Something like that is by the time it's
No.
over. right?
That's how long it normally takes. But
Yeah, that's what I
you
mean.
don't want to wait. You don't want to wait past the year to activate the arbitration. So let me give you an example. Let's say you had 30 days, and now you have a valid agreement with binding of a non-signatory. Because what you do is you go on their website and you download that the case is still open after you sent the cease and desist.
Mhm.
Okay. So now they've made an assent through the theory of assumption, one of the 6 binding of a non-signatory theories, right?
Right.
Which is assumption. They assume the benefit of the trademark and they still conduct the trade.
Do you give them 3 days to take it down or immediate?
Hold on.
You
No.
expect-
Listen.
30 days.
So now you got a valid agreement. You have 12 months from that point. So that means a 13-month total. I'm telling you right now, don't be the fucking one. Be advised. Do not be the fucking one to sit there and wait that long. Just handle it, dismantle them, make it seem like urgency because it's trademark violations and you want to not be allowing irreparable harm because you're doing your job as a trustee. So you must do it compulsory. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do not be the fucking one. I'm saying it right now, even if the statute does have its, well, day 35 too, EB. Yes, day 35. So do not be the one. Don't know who's queen. Who's queen? She was in earlier. Queen, identify yourself before we kick you out.
It's me. I was just transferring to my other phone.
Who's that?
Sade.
LW? Sade? All right, no doubt. All right, so good to go. So here's the deal. So my point is that you don't want to allow time to lapse. It is always an emergency, and it is always irreparable harm. Every time somebody uses a goddamn trademark, act like it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Mhm.
So if you have a prospect, let's say you're going to duplicate my process and you're going to do it to help somebody. For example, just example. Alan, let's say you learn my process and you're trying to help that guy who had this little situation or whatever. Do not fucking act like his life does not matter. Make sense?
Absolutely. Everything
Absolutely.
should be done timely.
It should be done timely and aggressively.
Yeah.
Now.
You got-
Well, that's the same thing. That's the same thing as a court case. A court case has certain benchmarks you got to hit. If you have a lawsuit, so you got to move in a fashion to make it happen. You can't sit back on your ass, right?
That's right. And so I only support aggression. Did I say anger or did I say aggression? The difference. Do we know what the difference is?
Hustle to the bustle, get that thing going with the
Hey,
aggression.
Tupo, can you look up what is the difference between the definition of anger and aggression?
Angry is you're being dumb and make some mistakes.
Yeah,
but
that's an
aggression
emotional
is-
thing, but all aggression,
Yeah.
listen, you could be a good person and be aggressively going after a successful goal.
Yes.
That just
Sure.
means you're putting as much
Aggressive.
focus behind
It's
it.
focus
Does that
and
make sense?
energy. Yeah.
That's all it means. Okay,
Focus,
Tupo, we're good.
energy, and commitment.
Right,
Compound
so
action.
that's all it means. No anger, but aggression. You need aggression. Anybody in this course, be advised you need aggression. If you do not have aggression, you are beyond paint chip
Right
eating.
there.
Aggression. Okay, let me see. Aggression is to be what? No, it doesn't have to be hostile. It could just, but it could be conflictory. But it still could be
It's just a
without anger.
behavior of action.
Okay,
what-
behavior of action. Yeah, just be a hunter. Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
Like
do
a
not
explosive
be
focus
advised.
energy.
Be advised. Do not leave a bunch of loose ends upon your activation of said process. Does that make sense? Because you may violate through communications. Okay.
Yeah.
You may violate the contract. And if and you want to leave the least amount, like you know, sometimes you could just look at somebody and say, and you said everything and they get it. And that's it. If you can do that, that's the best way to operate. Does that make sense? Don't allow the violation of your non-disclosure to be proven.
Mhm.
Moving on. Terms and conditions for the website. Can we pull them up? Because you had them up.
It's funny, the biggest
Good.
crypto
So now,
website.
be advised. Terms and conditions. Go down. Okay, so so I want you to go down to section 11. These are templated intellectual property rights. Was one of the first ones. 8. These are templated. 12. There you go. Templated copies of what your website needs. Of what your website needs. Did you see it went to arbitration? Go up. Go up. Binding arbitration. Do we see it or no?
Yes.
Okay, good. Kill screen for 1 second.
You know, that one example that Tupo gave us, that Faviola one, I don't believe it has all that on there.
Okay, good to go. Stand by for shock because I can't address that just a second because I'm on a hiatus right now. I got this demon energy, like fucking like, and then I got this angelic thing telling me mitigate that. So here's the deal. Every time you guys from this point on, from today, draft a contract or a term or a condition in which you're agreeing with the member, what type of clause will you insert into that
Binding arbitration.
binding arbitration? And on top of that, in order to fucking snuff these fuckers out, what will you add to your arbitration clause as one of the arbitration's terms of resolution? We spoke about
NDA.
it today. And non-disclosure.
Makes sense.
Okay. Hey, Prince Andrews told that girl, I'll give you 2 million. Be quiet.
Okay.
Okay, and you heard her shut the fuck up and take her cash, right? Or am I lying?
She got money.
And she stopped going on the BBC and shit, right?
Yeah, she stopped all of her interviews.
Okay.
But the
Hey,
public knows.
Yeah,
You
it's
know.
because he didn't settle soon enough. That's why he's an idiot.
Hey, but she shut up though, right?
Yeah, but he was stupid
Yeah.
for not settling sooner, is what I'm saying. He should have just made that go away.
Amazing.
You know,
So
it's like,
NDA acts as risk mitigation of
Yeah.
public appearance and embarrassment.
he's totally embarrassed.
Now imagine you make an offer where you say, I would save you the embarrassment. Yes, yes. Hey, because Alan B. Cooper is a public consensus. But we'll save them the embarrassment if we're pulling bodies from prison, taxes, debt, mortgage, and so on and so forth, right?
Mhm.
And do you think that they would agree faster?
Raven, you want to get paid good? You wanna get paid $1 billion?
Come on, and so this is America, and I don't know where Alan B. Cooper exists other than America.
Pull El Chapo out. El Chapo needs to get out.
Yeah. Hey, he does need to get out. Hey, fuck that. Hey, listen, hey, he's in ADX right now. Look,
Screw him.
Colorado. So who here? Time on deck is 8:26. So we've only spent about 1 hour. We're about to get into free flow. Who here learned something tonight?
Yep.
Yes.
We went through lawful
Oh,
money,
yeah.
petrodollar, and the history thereof, and its purpose. We went through terms and conditions on the website. We went through non-disclosure agreement on arbitration. And as well as the fact that we also went through compelling arbitration in a defensory position. Tomorrow, well, next Thursday, we'll go into it on a proactive, which is 9 United States Code Section 4. Okay? And we also got to see again the entire Gambit process till Tupo's computer froze or some shit.
Tell us more about the
Yeah,
compelling of arbitration process.
Dom, that's a good question. Hey, I'll answer you in like 10 minutes. Go ahead. What was the question? Somebody asked a verbal question.
Tell us about the process of compelling arbitration. I have no clue how to do that.
You file a
Is
motion
it
like
something you're gonna?
If you're in the defensory, if not, you must file a suit to compel it. The complaint.
Like in what? In
But that's
federal
United
courts or
States
what?
Section 4, and we will go through that. We'll go through that next class. But that is your answer.
That's a federal court though, right?
Obviously, I got the pleadings. Do I got the pleadings too, though? Do I got the pleadings, Raina? We'll be all right. My job is to train you.
Somewhere, I haven't got it on hand though, but yeah.
You guys realize that this class is to teach you how to do it, right?
Yeah, but we need examples to learn, right? I mean, that's what it's hard to, I mean, it's good to hear it, but it's also nice to see it, you know?
Where do I substantiate my examples verbally from?
Online.
And do they go into the chat?
No, the documents aren't in the chat.
Do
And
you
I don't
have
know
an
where,
irrevocable-
I don't know where the Dropbox is, so I don't know about the Dropbox, so I don't know. about
Oh, that's what it is. That's what it is. That's what it is. Oh,
that. Where is the
oh.
Dropbox?
oh, okay. Then this kind of different. Tubo, do you have why say no to FGT available?
Me too. I don't know where it's at either.
What, say that again?
Why say no to FGT?
It's all pinned in the group. It's all pinned in there. You just need to click on
It
it.
is.
Yeah.
This is truth. But
Where's
we'll
it
put
at?
it in here too.
You mean in the Trustee Gambit group thing?
Correct. All the assets that Tupo's given, it's all in there. You check, click on there. Yeah.
Click on the pin messages?
Yeah. Pin post and look for all the assets that Tupo's put in there.
Or files?
What group is that?
Files, yeah. And look
There's
for
four
why say no to
files. There's
FGT.
4 files.
Yeah.
That's it? That's in there?
Yeah,
It's got a lot in there.
Be advised. Except for those new documents in that compilation that's different. I just made that. That's just fresh off the press. And I'm
Okay.
still evolving it.
What group is it in, did you say?
Trustee Gambit,
Okay. Okay.
I think, right? Correct me if
Now,
I'm
that
wrong.
Telegram's very challenged. I'm not doubting that it is there. And one other person looked at it today. So I get it.
Wasn't that a hell of a question? But what if the attorney wants to just bring your ass into a civil suit and challenge your arbitration?
Maybe it's under links too. There's a lot of links, a lot of good links
Guys,
here.
you can figure that one out. It's easy to figure out. Raymond, go ahead.
DK, I will resolve you personally.
Excuse me?
I will resolve you personally. That means that don't look for it. I got you.
Okay. Thanks.
Mhm. You're one of the priorities. You and TC are a priority.
Good to know.
So how often do these attorneys try to, take you off the railways?
All the time.
they're
Sometimes
scumbags,
not by
dude.
responding and just sitting back and not putting any motion, but the shit's still up on a website like a debt. That is them testing your mantle.
Yeah, those
They
suckers.
won't
they-
aggravate, but they
yeah.
won't let go because the ones that hired them don't tell them to let it go.
Hmm.
And that's what you're banking on. You're a bit, what's the number one asset of a trust?
Number one, I said trustees.
A trustee.
Trustees' ability to carry out their mission.
Yeah.
So that's where, listen, look, okay, let me explain something. Hold on. This is a $5 bill. Let me roll this $5 bill up. Okay, let's say this is make sure roll up. Oh, you got an ego. I'm gonna fucking goddamn get high off of your ignorance. Because there's a lot of
Are these lawyers really that stupid or what?
They do
No, they're
everything
not
to
that
last minute.
stupid. Hold on, they're not that stupid. What happens is they will still test your mantle.
They play you for stupid.
This is
You're playing
free, we're in free flow
Yeah.
right now, right?
Gentlemen, excuse me. Listen, I have to pass gas for my face. And when I'm done, I want to know if you can smell the shit. Here's the deal. God damn! She's got another call. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
hear you.
yep.
Okay, good. Yeah, it didn't fuck with my trust speaker, man. That was a Telegram call. Hey, here's the deal. If they act dumb,
You are dumber.
do not be dumb enough to allow their stupidity to be the determinant on your ability to carry out your mission. You're going after intellectual property. Act like you're going after intellectual property. Act like the building is on fire. Act like you must resolve it quickly. And then quickly, they will pay you. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And what are the, like, who pays their bond, or they pay personally?
No, it's the
Or the state
judgment,
pays?
judgment fund.
Judgment fund in the
Judgment
court,
fund.
the
It's
bank.
from their it's from their trust, right?
Depends on the party, right?
Listen, anybody that fucked up their insurance policy and them, and if the insurance policy covers them, you will get paid.
Good for them.
That is the best answer.
What if they're so corrupt that it doesn't cover it?
They're gonna pay out of their pocket.
So the wife's
Yeah, but
wedding
how do you
ring,
force?
yours.
Okay, so
How do you
like,
force that on them, though?
remember that story of the there were, I remember in the back group someone was saying that the cop was pleading and crying, please pay this thing, please, you know, like,
Because if not, the
My
person
my marriage
liable.
is
This
done.
is a veil piercing mechanism.
yeah.
And if not, you get a lien on their property and you go in and seize it. That's what you do. The state
Absolutely. Right
takes
after
it.
you get judgmentbuy.com. Write it
Yeah.
down. Judgmentbuy.com will teach you how to collect on a motherfucker. Judgmentbuy.com. Cheers.
Very nice. Thanks so much.
That's how I learned how to collect on people that owed me. You didn't think I was always smart. No. Judgment by BUI, and it's all together.
Oh,
BK.
sorry.
Yeah.
My
That
fault.
was Russian. That was Russian propaganda.
My fault. Fucking
There it is.
stupid.
Okay.
Quick
They
judgment.
take a
by-
All right, good.
percentage or
Kill
what?
screen. Good. Kill screen.
These guys take a percentage?
No. Listen. Just follow the protocol and you manifest.
Okay,
Don't
all
give
right.
nobody a percentage of shit.
So it's a process. Okay, good.
You
It's a
already owe,
procedure
hey, listen,
process.
Anybody here that has a gambit, you already owe me 10% of your judgment. Why do you want to give them 50?
I don't. That's why I'm asking.
Hey, save yourselves. Buy yourself a Maserati. So here's the deal. So I just want you guys to know that what I taught you today gives great care to your mission. Okay, because if you and just move the chess pieces, there's no talking, just move the chess pieces. You'll be able to gambit. No talking. Don't chitter chatter. Don't gloat. That's why everything I show you guys, it's a template. It's a template. Okay? It's a template. That's why when I showed you guys Rubens Francois, I had to show you a case that existed. Then I had to tell you why I didn't do the DMCAs, because it was a personal quarrel. Hey, motherfucker, you in. This is me on the other one. Hey, do me a favor. Shut the fuck up. And then they go home. But I had the crown of a dead king because it was enough information to prove the strategy. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Do not be the one to do this. Don't complain. Listen, if your client complains to people, oh, this motherfucker, that is also a violation of the NDA because they're settlers. And if you have a trust like me, you ascribe them in as settlers.
What are you saying, settlers?
Yeah, settlers. And I'm not going to go into it at this time. These are trade secrets, even that protect me.
Wait, you're saying like if
No.
he complains
I'm
to
not going to
you,
expand on it.
if he
I just
complains
made a
to you,
statement.
that's an NDA.
I just made a statement. I just made a statement. And that's the end of that.
Okay.
You want $20,000 for that one?
For me to explain it to you on a private call. Subscribe to my OnlyFans. Let me show you what I have on my OnlyFans. I have a bunch of hats like this. Yep. Treat the process like a submarine. It's deep. People inflate it. Fuck it. China and breaks are happening. Inflate it times.
Hey, Australian dollars.
Australian. All right. So I'm teaching you how to have care even for your prospect. It sounds like secret squirrel shit, but it's not if you can verify it online, the purposes thereof. Now, what happens if you do violate a non-disclosure agreement and start talking about the proceedings afterwards? You owe the money back. It'll jeopardize me too.
NDAs have a time limit or a time period? 5 years,
No,
3 years?
it means no, it just means shut the fuck up. It means gag order.
Permanently.
What do you say? Okay,
Well,
then
the reason I'm
don't
asking
say
you
anything.
is, the reason I'm asking is because of the Trump situation with that Stormy Daniels bitch, okay?
And what
You know,
happened?
Well, she keeps running her fucking mouth.
Yeah,
and I
and
know
she
he's
owed
not-
him, and he
he owes-
can continue, and he can continually waste the money and sue, but he's not gaining any money from it.
No, I know, but
But
he's
the
suing her
Irish-
just for the principle of the issue, knowing him, you know, I mean,
And what did he put on Donald Win? And I still haven't had sex with that bitch.
What if someone hacks them and releases the info?
Okay, so do you see Donald Trump with his weeby out, getting it in with Stormy Daniels? Is that the release of the info?
Like,
Oh, what? They're gonna hack a court?
yeah,
A federal crime? Go to
not-
jail for how many years?
the federal court would seal the docket or seal the matter, right? That's what they would do.
no, but
Yeah,
like,
we
what about
see
like emails? Emails, like, don't you have to
Jesus
communicate?
Christ. Yo, what do you think? He emails about him doing what?
Like
He's
you said,
not
you
even a
can't
guy
talk
that likes to text.
Okay, right.
Haven't
Just-
you seen it in every case? He's a notorious non-texter and non-human. Yeah, he's like, if I see him. Hey, do you want to do this? Okay, come in this bathroom. Hey, I want to do this. He's so old school. That dude is so down to the root. He wouldn't even send a message with an AI backing. Do you know what he would send his message on? A passenger pigeon. And then when that passenger pigeon returns, they shoot the
John
pigeon.
Wick.
They shoot the pigeon. They feed the pigeon Alka-Seltzer and it pops. Kill the pigeon. The message is there. Hey, let me give you an example of something. There was a war game. And the general was from the Vietnam era, a Marine. Tuba, can you pull this up? Marine general. Beats American Navy with Iranian boats. Did something come up? Amazing. Okay, so that's the first one, right? So Paul Van Riper to lead the Red opposing forces of the most expansive military exercise in history. Let's kill screen. I'll just give it to you in short. Do you know what he was using in order to stop the United States apparatus and use Iranian boats to destroy most of the Navy in that war game at the Pentagon? Passenger pigeon, Bibles. He was cutting holes in his strategy, cutting holes in Bibles And they would put the message in the Bible and be like this with normal people, like, here you go, blow that boat up. Sunk Nimitz class carriers. Because the motherfucker was so down to the dirt, they couldn't. And he used asymmetric warfare. They made it classified because he was so old school. That's Trump. Trump is that old school. You ain't gonna catch shit on a text message.
Well, let's talk about Tiger Woods and his current situation with an NDA of that girl that's trying to break the NDA he had her sign. You know, that's become
I wish we could make these women. Okay. The year is 525 AD, where we can stone them while they're wearing hijabs for the defilement. This is my opinion. It doesn't mean I'm right. Thank you. It's a belief. I believe in God. Never had a beer with my boss.
No, but what do you think is going to happen with that type of case? Because they're really pushing that, and she's trying to say she was abused and all this crap, and that's why she signed the NDA.
After an NDA, double jeopardy. We're in America. Double jeopardy. It's unprosecuted. They can't prosecute it. Does that make sense?
So she can just say whatever she wants and break the NDA, and they're not going to be able to do anything?
Now you see why I want to go back to 535 AD?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good time. A good time. 535 AD. I don't have the answers for it, is what I'm saying. But nonetheless, I mean, all of them are Instagramming. Okay, kill screen. This is free flow. Let's talk about all kinds of satanic shit.